to go where the truth takes him. Here's Robert.
Boy, don't you love the way that Mitt Romney has got this thing sewn up. That's right. The presumptive nominee did so well in Nevada. I mean, that's basically right next to Mormon country in Utah. And, of course, up in Maine, which is right next to his former home state. I don't know if it's still his home state of, what do they call it? Massachusetts, right? And he absolutely lost. Big time. The delegates. Poor Romney. What did we do, Romney? What happened? How did he lose those two? Delegates swept in Nevada. How many did Romney get in Nevada?
22 out of 25. He swept every district except for one.
Wait, Romney got 22 out of 25?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, Ron Paul did.
Ron Paul. Wait a second. See, that's probably how the old media will report it. Hey, Romney won 22 out of 25. Wait, what? What is that? You said Ron Paul did that? What?
Well, if you say Ron Paul fast enough, it kind of sounds like Romney, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And in Maine, where they, of course, said, you know, it's a kind of a libertarian type state, but he didn't win the popular so-called caucus. But what did Ron Paul do in Maine?
I believe he got 15 out of 15.
100%.
Yes. No, it was an absolutely awesome weekend. I was pretty much glued to the computer the entire time because on Daily Paul, of course, you know, we got to give a shout out to Daily Paul. If you want to know what's going on with Ron Paul, with what's going on with the campaign, there's no better source than Daily Paul to get that information. And turns out there was a guy in Nevada. His name is Marcus Russell. And this guy, get this, he had a Samsung Galaxy cell phone that was in a dock, and he attached this to the top of like a broomstick. And
I love this.
And I guess the original plan was he was just going to record Ron Paul's speech, but he decided to go ahead and just record the whole thing. And there were thousands of people that were watching this stream on Ustream.
Yes.
And it was like a reality show. It was like you were there and you just couldn't turn it off because it was really intense what was going on in the convention, because the Ron Paul people were on top of it, and they were stopping everything dead in its tracks if it was something that was unfair or that needed to be changed. They stopped rules and bylaws and made amendments and made sure that they were accountable to everything that was going on, that that all of the delegates had credentials and that everything was counted fairly. So all the Ron Paul people that were there on the ground did a brilliant job of making sure that this thing was fair and square and that there was no error or wiggle room for any kind of errors. So it was just the most amazing thing to sit there and watch it. And I swear, I started Saturday morning,
yes,
and I ended, I think, Saturday night, like 11:30 at night. And I went to bed, and I got up at about 7 o'clock Sunday morning and was watching the whole thing until Sunday afternoon when it ended. And I'm telling you, it was worth it, because at the end, when they read the results, it was just congressional district after congressional district, and it was just sweep, 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 and the crowd was just going nuts. It was the most awesome thing to watch.
Well, now you have an excuse for your bloodshot eyes, all right? So you're okay. We don't have to drug test.
I shaved.
Yeah, and you shaved. You're looking good, Don. Super Don, man. Look at on it all the way. And yesterday on the Robert Scott Bell Show through GCN, we also were covering this story. And the fact is, it was just amazing how bad the old media is portraying this. They utilize the term hijack. And I covered this yesterday on the show. It was the talking point of the Sunday news cycle. Hijack, hijack, hijack. When the reality is no such hijacking occurred except for the Romney supporter in Nevada who was, I think, was it Maine or Nevada? No, it was Maine, where Ginger Taylor, our friend, was there covering this and actually caught him on tape handing out a phony vote for these Ron Paul delegates ballot, right?
Yeah,
this is classic.
Dirty tricks.
Yeah.
Dirty tricks going in, not just in Nevada, but in Maine.
In Maine as well. Yeah, we've got the audio we're going to play for you as well. But the hijacking actually occurred, and we'll cover this a little later, in Connecticut as the governor. Why isn't this big news? The governor of Connecticut was hijacked by Monsanto. You think that'd be front page, but we'll get to that, the GMO issue in Connecticut. So good stuff happening, though. Yes, Ron Paul winning the delegates, and the Romney campaign is going to send in lawyers to try and defeat it. But the thing is, everybody's that's in the Ron Paul crowd right now, a lot of them were there 4 years ago when they were robbed because they didn't understand the rules. They were outruled because they didn't know what, much less Robert's Rules of Order, but they didn't know the whole how everything was supposed to be run. This time they know it's so cold, they know it better than the old guard.
Oh yeah, and you can see all the Romney people that are in the crowd at these conventions are just irritated beyond belief because the Ron Paul people have got it down this time around, and they are not messing around. And this is why you're seeing state after state after state. They know what they're doing. They're getting in there. They're playing the game, and they're coming out as victors in every situation almost.
Yeah, of course. Where's Bugs Bunny when you need him? Of course, this means war. Remember when he says that?
and it does. Yeah. I mean, it's so funny. On Sunday, Fox came out with an article. I mean, as this has all happened, Ron Paul has gotten the majority of delegates in Nevada. He's got the majority of delegates in Maine. Fox comes out with an article. The title of the article is Romney slowly but surely racking up GOP convention delegates. And I was thinking, you know what? They need to change that, because what it should say is Romney quickly and surely losing GOP convention delegates previously thought to be his, because that's honestly what's going on.
Yeah, well,
that these delegates are just coming, Ron Paul is just hitting a grand slam at almost every convention up to this point.
Yeah, the excitement for Mitt Romney, which has never been there, is even less. If it could go down further, the deflating of the balloon that was already deflated. That's what we're seeing with the Romney campaign, and no amount of Viagra is going to save it.